I'm John McConkey. I'm from Alvey Reels, Australia. I've been with the company a short while, something like around about 39 years, and I've been using an Alvey reel since the age of 8. And as you can see, I am no longer near that age grouping. Over the particular period of time I've been around using one of these and selling them and talking about them, and also showing and trying to help people with the biggest problem we always seem to find is that casting is difficult. To me, this is inexcusable because more often than not, they haven't been shown how to use it properly. And that we will hope to change right now. If, of course, you can imagine there's fishing line on this reel. This is one of our lever drag type reels on a new Alvey rod, as a matter of fact, that's matched to do the job. We take our line, grip it like that, and the line runs over the hand, over the palm of the hand. We take the palm of the hand to the back of the reel, and as you can see, my thumb touches the trigger. We then touch the trigger and pull the reel totally around, still holding the line with the forefinger, as you can see. We then swap forefinger for thumb, and then grip the back of the rod like so. Then stretch the right arm out and start to target where we are aiming. We then come uppermost, up over the shoulder like so. And then in casting, we pull with the left hand, or if you happen to be a left-hand user, you pull with the right. You pull with the left hand down, using that as the pivot, and push with the right, and finishing up somewhere between thigh and knee. Of course, you release it around about 1 o'clock. If you forget to release, however, don't let it worry you, because after the first or second time, you'll find that the line will wish to come out, and you'll get used to that action. You then turn the reel fully back to click. Trap the line with the hand, using an open runner up the top if you wish. Tighten the line, and then continue one thing. Keep your line tight, but retrieve. Retrieve slowly. If you're on rocks, that's a different matter, but on beaches and sandy areas, continually retrieve. Tease your fish, in other words. Sieve the water, because quite often you'll find that the fellow will put a very small bait in the Pacific Ocean and expect the fish to come and find it. It doesn't work like that one bit. You need to go hunting. You are a hunter. Keep hunting. Now, that's another very interesting point that you don't see anywhere, that they put it out, sit down, and just relax. That's fine if you want to have a relaxing day, but if you wish to catch fish, hunt. The other thing then we see is that what I call them the sneak 'em up upon fishermen. When they'll have a look at the tip of their rod, they sneak up on the rod. Why, I would never know, but you'll see them sneak up on the rod. And when they sneak up on the rod, they slowly but inevitably pick it up. When they pick it up, they give the rod one almighty woof. And that pulls, what they hope, the head of the fish off. But what they're actually doing is removing the bait from the specific target area. If, on the other hand, when they do get a bite, and they do pick the rod up, I don't care if they sneak up on it or not, but pick the rod up in their hand, they don't go a mighty smack, because with a 12-foot rod or even down to a 6-foot rod, they can move the bait somewhere between 12 and 15 feet in the water. And the fish wouldn't have a clue where it's gone, not one bit. So all he needs to do, or she, or whoever it is turn the handle once. So what they've done is they've wound the bait around about 21 inches each turn. Instead of 12 feet, they just do one turn, or 2 turns. But don't go madly and very quick. There's no point to do so. But if the fish keeps biting, just keep moving. Just keep moving until such a time as he will take your bait. You are teasing him, but remember one thing. They are always feeding on moving food. And moving food is the critical thing. The easy cast system is what it's called, easy cast. Now, what we do here is we pull line back around a button that's on the side of the reel, put our finger or our thumb on it, and just click the reel around. Now we then just cast You just flick cast and let go, and the line flows off the reel quite simply. It's very good for the inexperienced and ideal for the young and anyone that wants to use it anywhere. It also has another thing, that it will turn left or right-handed. We can go to the left-hand configuration, or in my case, a right-hand configuration. I mentioned before in regards to this almighty swoop, huge swoop. And this swoop is rather strange. Then I also haven't mentioned as yet, quite often we have an angler that wants to use, say, around about 20-pound breaking strain line, 10 kilo, quite often even heavier, and they try to chase whiting and brim and things like that. This, okay, quite often will catch a fish, but it's not really needed. If they use the rod in a judicious and a proper fashion, you will find that they will overcome a problem quite easily. Now, by turning this around, we'll show you something. Now, the almighty swoop is rather crazy. All you needed to do was to wind the line once. Now, if you have a look at this rod as we are going, you will note that the rod has become a spring between you and your fish. Now, this is what a fishing rod is all about. The more I turn, the greater the spring. Now, when there's a fish on the end of your hook, while your rod tip is bent similarly to that, you cannot lose him. Provided you keep the tip bent and the action there, you will not lose the fish unless there's a shark around or something that wants to take it, and or if it snags up. But you can note that you just pull the rod tip back and it works. This particular line is quite interesting. You can see that in essence it's making this line stronger than what it actually is, and it's quite surprising. Now, I'll take this back right up to where it is breaking, and then we'll break a piece off for you and give you an indication of what I am actually demonstrating. As you can see, there's a tremendous amount of stretch here, and now we've broken off. Now, the breaking off was deliberate, and it was deliberate in such an extent that this is what we were using. Whether you can see that or not, I don't know. But that is what they call Coates 40 white sewing cotton, and you can see it is very, very easily broken. Now, if you couldn't land a reasonable fish on that rod with that particular piece of line, with care, I'll give up. It's quite a simple thing to do. And that's the answer to quite a lot of people's problems. Not this, this. Again, I can only emphasise, you're moving the bait away from the critter that you're chasing. The ocean is big, the river is big, and you expect a little prawn to be seen by the fish that's 12 feet away. It doesn't happen. It's impossible for it to happen. Question is, over the years, what's so good about Alvey reels? Well, first off, we've been around since 1920 as a company, and we intend remaining as a company for a lot longer yet. Longevity of company is not exactly the criteria all the time, but in this case it can be. We do make reels and have made reels since 1920. This is an example. This is a 1932 vintage reel which is still in operation. One could fish with it today. We actually made wooden handles on it and a brass metal back, and it's quite heavy indeed, but in essence you could still take this out and go fishing with it today. Side cast, comes back, similar principle, still has the star nut operation, and as I said, you can still work with it. Over a period of time we developed other types of reels. This particular one is of wood, and a lot of people are familiar with wood. It was cedar. We also made it out of silky oak sometime, and also out of camphor.